today we are going to look at how to operate a Rotek plant growth chamber. So for that, initially connect the machine to a good power source. We always recommend to use the machine with a UPS because we know it's a plant growth chamber, so continuous operation might be required. So to avoid power failure, we recommend it to use it with a UPS as well as connect to a stabilizer because this machine contains compressor and stuff like that for cooling. So we also recommend to use the machine with a stabilizer to avoid any power fluctuations or cause any damage to the compressor. So once we did that, next step is to go to the side. So here we can see the on switch on MCB, as well as this is a indicator for alarm if there is any errors or any failures. So now let's turn on the MCB. So by turning the MCB on, we can see the screen is booting up. So now coming to the screen, we can see a lot of functions and settings. In the left side here, we can see heater is off, cooling is off, humidity is off, buzzer is off, door is safe, and water level is okay. And to the right side, we can see the lights. So once the lights are on, this will go to green. So that's for the indication of light. And this is PV, which is process value, and temperature. Currently, what's the temperature inside the chamber? That's being shown here. That's 30.1 degree. And the humidity, that's been shown 59. And the bottom, what's showing is the set value. That's the temperature that's being fed by us. That's 30 degree and 70 degree at the moment. And here you can see it stop. So to start the machine, we have to press on the stop. As well as there are other indications like USB and info. This is for profile, ramp and hold function. So normal operation, it's not required. And to set the temperature and humidity, you have to press on the bottom left corner, which is the settings here. So we have to enter the password now. So the password is 123654, and then press OK. And again we have to go there into the setting. Now we can see the set value of temperature and humidity. So to set temperature, let's say we can set the temperature at 25 degrees and press OK. And also humidity, let's give it as 65. And then we go to the home button. And also we can see high and low alarm. So if the variance is this much in the high level and low level, then the alarm will start working. And then we go to the home button. Then we can start the machine now. Now we can see the values that we have set, 25 and 65, it came here as set value. Now to turn on the machine, let's press on the this button, the stop. So now the machine is on, it has started. So the machine has started now. We can also see the cooling is on now, which is shown here, which is in green now. Earlier it was off. So that's how you set the temperature and humidity in normal circumstances. Now to set the lights, let's go to the settings again. So again we have to enter the password 123654. Now we have to go again and then go to settings 123654. The thing is, we have to enter password a lot of times because this is to avoid accidental settings or make it foolproof. So nobody accidentally makes any settings or changes any settings. So again we give the password and press OK. Now we go to settings again. And then we can see the new menu. Here it's showing light settings. So we have to take light settings now. Again we have to give password 123654. OK. Then again we have to press on light settings. Here we can see timing, on time, off time, and here we can manually turn on the lights. So if I press this, then manually the lights will be on. As I have pressed one light, this light is on. Now I can manually on all the lights. Now all the lights are on. all 4 lights are on, and there's another 4 sets of lights in the other side. So now let's turn that off. I have turned all the light off, and here it has gone off. And here we can set the time, what time it needs to be turned on and turned off. So it works in the clock time of this controller. So here we can see that currently the time is 18:42, that is 6:42 in the evening. So the light setting is done by the time which is shown here. So again I go to the light settings. So here I can set the timing. As you know, plant growth chamber is a simulation of real day lighting. So we have to set the time accordingly, or we have to turn on the lights accordingly as you are required. So I can set it to 18:30 and to be turned off at 19, that is 7:55. Right now you can see the light has turned on because the controller's time, as we said earlier, it is dependent on, it's very much dependent on the controller's time. So by this way I can set all the lights required by the customer or required by the user. So at 12 o'clock at noon I can turn on all the lights, and by evening I can turn off 3 lights. That by that way you can arrange or you can adjust the lighting. That's how you adjust the lighting, by setting the light time according to the machine's timer. So this way I can control each time. So now we can see both these lights are on because the time is already 18:44. So these lights are on, and here also in the front we can see the 2 lights, it is shown here. So by that way we can control, we can set the temperature as well as the humidity, and as well as we can set the lighting this way. So that's the basic setting of this machine. Now to turn off the machine you only have to press on the on this button, which start will stop. And also if there is any alarm or indicator which is on, we can press on this button and the alarm will be turned off. I will show you by opening the door. By opening the door, now we can see the door is open as well as the alarm is on. So I can turn it off by pressing here. As well as when the water level is low, then also the alarm will go off. And also there is a light switch here. This is the chamber light switch. You can turn it off or turn it on by pressing this light. So that's the basic setting of this machine. With this method we can control the lights and as well as the temperature and humidity. Thank you. So the next setting is how to set up ramp and hold function in this machine. So for that we have to go to settings again, give password 123654, okay, and again go there, and we can see profile setting. By pressing on profile setting we have to give password again, and here we can see the menu. So there is 5 programs available. You can select one program, and 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 programs we can put it in the memory. So to turn on the profile we have to press on this profile option here. So before turning it on, let's check the program first. So I'm choosing program number 1 and I'm giving 123654 as password again. And here we can see the RAM and SOC settings. So we can save up to 30 settings here. We can save up to 30 settings in here. And we know this plant growth chamber is a simulation of real world. So we know in the morning the temperature outside might be 25 degrees, and by evening or by noon it may go up. So we are trying to recreate the temperature here. So let's say in the morning the temperature is 25 degrees. So in step 1 we give 25 degree, and humidity we give of 60, and then the hold time, how much time it needs to be hold on that temperature. So for test purpose I have given it 10 minutes here. In actual scenario we can give it as maybe 120 minutes. For 2 hours it's gonna be 25 degrees. So as the next step it's going to increase to 27 degrees. So I give 27 degrees here, and humidity go from 60 to 65, and RAM degree Celsius is going to be 2 degrees. So that's the difference between first step and second step. So I'm going to give it as 2. And the ramp time, how much time it's gonna take to reach this 27 degrees, that's what we are going to do now. So I'm going to give it as 60 minutes. So what's happening here is the 25 degrees is going to be hold on for 120 minutes. Then after that it's going to go to 27 degrees, and it's going to take 60 minutes to get to 27 degrees, and 27 degrees is going to be held, let's say I'm going to give another 120 minutes. And then I'm going to the third step. So now let's say the temperature is going to increase to 30 degrees, and humidity is 70, and ramp. The difference is actually 3, 27 and 30 is 3. And the ramp time, the amount of time it's going to take to reach this 30 degree, I'm going to give it as 20. And again I'm going to give the hold time, that amount of time it has to be held there, I'm going to give it as 60. So by this way we can set temperature or we can increase the temperature and humidity gradually inside the machine. So up to 30 settings we can give in this controller. And the next step we have to be made sure is where we are going to start. So we know we are going to start in the morning, which is 25 degrees. So the start has to be on 1. And the next thing is where we are going to end it. So we have to give something. So let's say we are only doing an experiment till 35 degrees, then we have to give it to 4. It is very important that we always give the start and stop, otherwise it will malfunction. So we always have to give the start and stop, where we are starting and where we are stopping. Then we go back to this menu, and now we have to turn on the profile, or we have to turn on the programming option, which is by pressing here. Now it has turned green. Now we are going to home. Once we have gone back to home menu, we have to turn off the machine and turn it on once again. This is to clear the previous memory inside the machine and to add new settings. So every time we are changing a settings in profile function, then we have to turn off the machine and turn it on once again. Now we can see this clock is ticking, which means we are in the programming, or the profile is turned on. And also by pressing on the info, we can see the time as well as the temperature and humidity is the value which was fed by us. So that the whole time is 120, and start and the number of start step, stop step and run step, everything is being shown here. So once it reaches this temperature 25 degrees and 60, then it's going to be hold for 120 minutes. Then it goes to the next step. So by that way the machine keeps working till whatever step we have decided. So this is how we operate the profile function. Now when the program has ended, the machine will stop, as well as it will show process end and profile end, and there will be an alarm. So we have to turn off the alarm. Now if the customer does not need profile function, then it has to be remembered. We have to go to settings 1, 2, 3, 6, 5, 4. Profile setting 1, 2, 3, 6, 5, 4, and turn off this profile. Otherwise the machine will keep working in profile. Now the clock which was ticking, it has turned off, as well as now let's set the temperature. Let's try and set the temperature. Now let's set temperature as 30 degree. And now also we are finding difficulty in setting the temperature. So again, we recommend to turn off the machine and turn it on again to clear the memory of the machine. Otherwise, it will be going to the old settings. So for that, we turn off the machine and turn it on once again. This has to be done every time when we are switching from profile function to normal mode, and vice versa. So now we are going to turn off and turn on the machine once again to clear the previous settings. We go to the settings here, we enter the password one. So now what we can see is we can now change the temperature and the humidity. There is no problem because it has cleared from the memory. So that's how we can set the temperature and profile function, and as well as the normal function in this machine. Now once we have set that, we can turn on the machine. Now we can see the heater has turned on. The temperature is currently at 24 degrees. Now it is going up to 35 degrees. So by this method we can set the temperature in normal way as well as the profile programming way. So thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed watching it.